the fighting continues in Gaza. It's not just Jewish soldiers fighting on the front lines. Arab Israelis, Bedouins, and Druze are all fighting for the state of Israel as well, risking their lives for their home country. To discuss this more, I'm joined by Dr. Amir Khnifess, chairman for the Israeli Druze Center, joining us via Zoom from northern Israel. Thank you so much for being here, Amir. I'm curious, right now, the Druze community, they are fighting alongside the Jewish people. It's really a lesson of coexistence, which here in Israel we do see time and time again. I'm curious just the bond that the Druze community really has to, not just the people, but the land here in Israel.
Well, as you know, the Druze community in Israel took a stand long ago before the establishment of the State of Israel. And the fact that the Druze youth are fighting now in the front line, whether in the south or the north, is, I think, new about it. They were in all wars that Israel had since 1948. 1973, 1967, 1982 in Lebanon, and through the intifadas, and now, of course, in Gaza and the front line against Hezbollah. So there's nothing new about it. Since the war started a month ago, 4 of our best youth, unfortunately, has been killed. 2 of them is lieutenant colonels from Yanuch, who one of them was head of the tanks artillery unit, and it's very sad situation. But this is part of this special relationship, and as you could see, our youth are ready to do it, and we will continue to do it as long there is terrorist organization on the other side of the borders.
You mentioned those losses that the Druze community has already seen. How is this war as a whole? You mentioned just the past wars that we've seen as well, but specifically since October 7th, how have we seen this fighting and the terrorism impact the Druze community?
Well, we've seen also on the news the terrorist organization of Hamas doesn't distinguish between a Druze and a Jew. It doesn't distinguish even between other communities within the state of Israel. And what is clear for us is for Hamas and other organizations in the region, every Israeli society is a target. And we are here as a community to say that we are an integral part of the Druze society. We are an integral part of this state, and we will do our best to protect it. And I have to tell you, it's not only our youth and officers in the front lines, it's also our society. And what is when you say about this special relationship and this blood and life covenant between the Druze and the Jews, is exactly what it means now and these days. It's that the whole society, the whole Druze society, is standing behind IDF, behind Druze soldiers and officers, and it's one part of the Israeli society, and that's how it will be also in the future. Anyone or any terrorist organization that has any thoughts that he can affect Israel or threaten Israel, he must know that the first people that he will face is the Druze community. It's youth, its families, and the whole community.
You mentioned how the Druze community really is an integral part of the entire state, the nation of Israel. I want to talk about the nation-state law from 2018, which says that Israel is the nation-state for the Jewish people. Now, some say it fails to specifically mention the rights of minorities, including that of the Druze community. I'm curious how this nation-state law has impacted your rights in any way.
Well, it's not a secret that the Druze society and the Druze community in Israel suffered a lot from the right-wing governments over the last years. And we expressed our frustration over this policy in many ways, through demonstrations, through the way that we demonstrated in Tel Aviv. I myself had led the, I would say, the demonstration or the anti-government camp within the Israeli community over the last 9 months. But it is also, we also understand that now Israel is facing a threat. The whole country now is in a war, and this is not the time to come to a compromise with anyone, including the government. What is for sure we expect from the state and from the government, and the right government that we have now in Jerusalem, is the minute that the war starts, they must change the nation-state law. They must change the communist law. There is no way that we can accept more that our youth in the front lines and these laws remain on table. There is no way. Nobody accepts that in the Druze community.
And what are the exact changes that you're hoping to see to the law after this war?
To prove our loyalty to the state of Israel. But what wasn't clear for some politicians for the last years, I think everyone understands that the bonds between the Druze community and the state and the Israeli society is beyond any politics. And those politics and the government that's sitting in Jerusalem has to make a new calculation, has to reshape our policy, and to treat the Druze community in Israel as first citizens and an equal citizen of the state of Israel.
So when it comes to the nation-state law, are you hoping for a change to it, or are you hoping to see it scrapped altogether?
Well, I have no doubt it will be just a disaster, I would say, if after all what happened and after all the sacrifices that the Druze community approved to this state and for the Israeli society and the mobilization, and that's what is important. It's more than anything else. It's the way the Druze community was mobilized as a one community behind the Israeli society and the state of Israel in this threat. What more we need to do to prove our loyalty? What is missing here to those politicians to understand that the Druze community is more Israelis than any other Israeli in this state? What they have to do is that they understand that they must be first-class citizens, not only because they are loyal to the state, because they perceive themselves as an integral part of the Israeli society, and the state of Israel is more important for them than anyone else in this stage.
Dr. Amir Khnifess, thank you so much for giving a voice to your community, the Druze community, and really sharing your insight right now. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.